Greetings, people of the internet. This is Scott with Serkworks, and I apologize for this one's coming out a little late. This is Fan Art Friday, and I'm putting this up on a Saturday. Yesterday, I just had a lot of stuff going on. I had a funeral to go to, and then I had a holiday party, and between that, I was just running around doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I didn't get it up. So a little late, but I figure better late than never, and we're going to continue on with our series of Rankin and Bass characters. Right now I'm doing Burgermeister Meisterburger, and so the last episode I did, I was a little unprepared, and it's been a while since I've seen some of these shows, so I got some facts wrong. I think somewhere in the middle of the video I sort of corrected myself on some of the mistakes I made, but and I kind of got taken to task a little. Not too bad, but you guys out there kind of helped me out and reminded me what some of the characters were from, because although, like I said, I am a big fan of these Rankin and Bass, stop motion films. It's been a while since I've seen them, so I'm a little rusty in some of the characters and which shows they were from. Actually, kind of melded together, and I was getting a little confused, but so hopefully this time I'm a little more prepared, and I'll have my facts straight. So anyway, so this one is again the Burgermeister Meisterburger, and hopefully we'll get this thing right this time. But so this one is from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and he's the villain. Now, I guess in this one there's sort of two villains, and I'm actually going to do sketch cards of both of them. And I was talking about before how in Rankin and Bass movies, a lot of the villains eventually become good, and I thought this guy turned good, but I think I was confused because I don't think he actually turned good in the end. The other character that I'm going to do, Winter Warlock, he started off as a bad guy and turned into a good guy. But this guy, I was confused because there's a part where Santa Claus gives him a present and he gets all happy, and then eventually he comes to, well, I say to his senses, but not really his senses, because he's kind of a bad guy, and his the whole idea of him banning all the toys, he eventually kind of realizes it, or another character reminds him that, oh, you're not supposed to like toys, and then he turns back to kind of his evil ways, and eventually I think what happens is that over time, like, his rule kind of, and his his lineage kind of fades out or whatever, and then Santa Claus is able to deliver on Christmas without any problem, and I think that's how it works out. But so anyway, yeah, he's this character, like most of the villains in the Rankin and Bass films, is voiced by Paul Frees, and you'll find him come up again and again. Just really, awesome voice actor. He does a lot of the villains and other characters from the series. So, and the other thing I was confused with was the different narrators, because most of these films have a narrator that kind of introduce you to the characters and tell the story and everything. So in this one, in the one I just did, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Fred Astaire, who you probably know, like Fred and Ginger from all those classic movies and everything. He was the mailman, and so that was one of the characters, and I think I confused some of those before, but and then what are some of the other ones that I got a little confused? I think so. Sam the Snowman, who I did last time, voiced by Burl Ives, who sings Holly Jolly Christmas and everything. You probably heard him sing a lot of great Christmas songs and things like that, and he did a lot of stuff for Disney and sang some songs for Disney and stuff like that. That was from Rudolph, and the one thing, let's see. So there was I think there was a Rudolph sequel, or maybe that was the one with. See, now I'm not getting my facts straight, but I think, was it Rudolph and Frosty, the Shiny New Year? Father Time was the narrator, and he was voiced by Red Skelton, who's, a lot of them are like old comedians and stuff. But one of the things that I noticed was most of the narrators other than in the Frost, the two, because the Frosty movies I mentioned before, those were the ones that are like cell animated. They weren't stop motion, and it seemed like those that the Frosty movie and its sequel were the only ones that also like the narrators played themselves. They didn't play like a character; they were actually themselves. So on Frosty, the narrator was Jimmy Durante, another comedian, and in Frosty's Winter Wonderland, the sequel was Andy Griffith from the Andy Griffith Show. And again, they just kind of played themselves. They weren't really, they weren't really playing a character. And so anyway, right now this is Kubla Klaus, who is from Jack Frost, which really I don't know if it's underrated, but I did Jack Frost last week on the last sketch card. And I remember this kind of being one of my favorite because it's very reminiscent of like a fairy tale. It's almost like Little Mermaid, where Jack Frost falls in love with a human and decides to give up sort of his power, sort of like Little Mermaid. I guess kind of I like that, that theme and everything. But so Kubla Klaus, also voiced by Paul Frees. He's kind of this guy who, he kind of rules the town and everything, and he's got this mechanical army of just like, they're all kind of like steampunky type robot guys, and he's got a horse, and then he's got this dummy, which I wanted to illustrate, but I couldn't really fit him. I was going to try to fit him in, dummy meaning like a ventriloquist dummy that his name's just dummy, but this is another guy who eventually doesn't turn good at the end, but yeah. So I don't know. I kind of like this character because he had all these like mechanical like robots and things like that, and you can see there he's kind of got the big kind of iron fist and everything. But anyway, so yeah, and then so the narrator in Jack Frost was the groundhog, because the idea is that the groundhog wants to sleep in, so he wants Jack Frost to keep winter going and everything, and the groundhog was voiced by Buddy Hackett, who I don't know if you guys have seen like the original, like Herbie the Love Bug. He was in that, and just a bunch of other stuff. That's kind of what I remember him best from. But he probably voiced some stuff in some of the early Disney movies too, I think. But you'd probably know his voice if you heard him. But anyway, yeah, I really did like that story. So now we're on to Winter Warlock, who is also from, Santa Claus is coming to town, I think. Yeah, so he's kind of the sort of the secondary villain. He's kind of like, he's kind of one of those characters that he just does his own thing and doesn't want to be bothered, and then eventually somebody needs their help. I mean, you see that kind of archetype come through in a lot of different stories. But anyway, yeah, he eventually kind of comes good and helps Santa Claus and everything like that. So, yeah, so this, I kind of saved this one for last. This one sort of my favorite. I like I don't know what it is. I like the snow, kind of these snow ice creatures, and you'll see that like also in which one was it? Was it I think the Year Without Santa Claus, they had that Heat Miser and the Snow Miser, which I did that one last year. So if you go way back in the archives, and maybe I'll put a link, like a card where you can click on it and on the YouTube and check that out. But I like those. I don't know. I like those icy type characters, whether it's Jack Frost or Winter Warlock or the Snow Miser or anything. They're kind of fun to draw, and I like the look of them. Because you can do like icicles hanging off of them and everything like that. So very cool. Like, again, I'm just a huge fan of these shows. I'm trying to think what I'm going to do next week. I know by next Friday, The Force Awakens will be out, but I'll probably be in line to see it when I'm doing this. I'll probably have to do it in advance, so I probably won't be able to do Force Awakens. So let me think about what I'm going to do for next week's Fan Art Friday. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. I try to do this Fan Art Friday thing just every Friday, or like today. It's a little late on a Saturday, but I think that's okay as long as I get it out. I had some other videos come out, I think I've had a video of the past couple days, so So that's fine. I don't want to put them all out at the same time. But thanks for liking, subscribing, and commenting. And I'll see you next week with some form of Fan Art Friday. Not sure what I'm going to do, but yeah, that is all.